Hey everybody, Chris with 90 Living Card Games, back for my next episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So far we had Maria Hill take down the first scenario, then Nick Fury took out Batroc in the second one, and now we're up to Shuri against M.O.D.O.K. And I am just doing, I think one of the more popular decks of Shuri right now is a Protection Repurpose deck. I don't have a ton of, I've got the standard like energy barrier, force field generator, some tech stuff to repurpose. But Shuri is pretty strong on her own, so we'll see how often I even have to repurpose myself. Alright, so I got all the decks set up, everything set up here. I've got my Adaptoid out, I've got the holding cells, and the Adaptoid environment that needs to be done. Let's see here. So let's go to the holding cells. All right, who do we got on top? Looks like the Psionic Inhuman. So enters play with 2 lock counters on it. However, the campaign instruction says add another 3 on it, but remove 1 lock counter from the card where for each rescued captive from the previous one. I got all 4 of them, so I guess the holding cell only comes in with 1. That's convenient. S.H.I.E.L.D. executive board is set. They didn't have any secrets on them last game, so I don't add any more here. I've got the aim interference in there. And then after I do the mulligan, I could do these 2 environment setup things. One is go fetch a protection ally. The other is a justice support. I'm honestly not going to do either of those because I don't want to dig through my collection and play around with stuff. So all right, so let's, oh, no, I got to do which Adaptoid environment is in play. All right, so what do we got? We have the Strong upgrade. So each Adaptoid gets +1 attack, gains toughness, and gains the Brute trait. All right, I need to look at timing real quick here. Random. Nope. So that happens before I fetch the Adaptoid. So this, as I kind of figured, but this Adaptoid does have toughness. All right, let's go. Let's do some mulliganing. So I got a Wakanda Forever, a Genius, Ready to Rumble, Ingenuity, On the Prowl, and a Force Field Generator. Well, Wakanda Forever doesn't do me any good right now. I'm definitely keeping Genius and Ingenuity. On the Prowl, I'm not going to worry about too much. And I am... You know, I'm going to pitch this force field generator for right now. I'm going to hold on to Ready for Rumble. And I will mulligan 3. So I got a Ready for a Fight, an Armored Vest, and a Vibranium Suit. All right. So, first things first, I'm going to use Shuri's ability to exhaust to go find a Black Panther or tech upgrade and reduce its cost, play it and reduce it by 2. I'm going to go get my claws and put those in for free. I think my biggest challenge in this game may very well be just my board state, because Shuri gets, especially with the protection with the tech upgrades and with all these allies getting brought in, there is a lot of real estate that I'm going to need on the board for all my stuff. All right, so we got our claws. All right, we are going to spend Genius to get an Ingenuity out. Down just a hair. I am going to use Ingenuity to put Ready to Rumble out. You know, the Armored Vest is nice, but do I want a Vibranium Suit out? No, you know what? We're going to pitch ready for a fight to get my armored vest out. And I'm going to hold on to Vibranium Suit. So I'm going to flip up. And then I'm going to discard Ready to Rumble to ready my hero. I am now going to thwart 2. And because I used a basic power, I can trigger one of my Black Panther upgrades. It will be Panther Claws. So the special is deal 2 damage to an enemy. I may discard this card to deal an additional 3 damage. And if I do, it gains piercing. So I will discard this for piercing and to get rid of Adaptoid. So that is 5 total damage, 2 plus 3. And then when defeated, remove 1 all-purpose counter from an environment. So we're going to get this last lock on the first holding cell taken care of. And we get the Psionic Inhuman. So it is a 1/1/5, does not count against the ally limit. And response, after the ally thwarts, remove 1 lock counter from a holding cell. So we've got another holding cell there with 2 locks on it. And then if it were to leave play, flip it and place it at the bottom of the holding cell deck. I'm going to put it over here. All right, he's a great one because he just helps your win condition out just by regular thwarting. So, all right, so we are going to ready ourselves up. I'm going to keep Vibranium Suit in my hand, and then we get another Ready to Rumble, and On the Prowl, Spider Bites, and a Stun Gun. So we're getting 1 on the main. He is coming to attack. I am just going to flat out take it. So he's attacking for base 1, 2, star. If it is an attack, it gains piercing. I'm not tough. That's fine. So he hits me for 2. That's fine. And then we get our encounter card, which is Scientist Supreme. 2/1/6, victory -1, villainous, vulnerable. So you discard him if they get stunned or confused. And then Scientist Supreme's attacks gain piercing and ranged. Okay, over to me. So what we are going to do is we are going to use the Psionic Inhuman to thwart for 1. And then because I did that, I get to remove a lock counter from the holding cell. We are going to do Ready to Rumble and On the Prowl to get a stun gun out. So it comes in with 2 counters, and then I can exhaust it, and I can spend 1 charge to stun a minion or 2 charges to stun the villain. So we'll just spend 1 to stun a minion, but because they are vulnerable, Scientist Supreme just goes away. And now I am going to use Ingenuity and a Vibranium Suit. Spider Bites or Vibranium Suit. That's nice. The special is just 1 to the villain and everybody that's engaged to me. Vibranium Suit does heal me a little bit, so that's really nice. But I think we're going to go with Spider Bites. My turn. I guess I will attack for 1. He does have Retaliate, so I take a damage. And I used a basic power, so I get to trigger the special on a Black Panther upgrade. So here, so deal 1 damage. I choose a player, myself. I deal 1 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with them. Because when M.O.D.O.K is defeated, I get to remove 2 lock counters off. And then once they're all free, then I can kill him for good. So I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip down. And we will call it a turn. And ready here. All right, drawn up to 6. So I got a Dora Milaje upgrade, Force Field Generator, Desperate Defense, a Vibranium, Aja, Adana, and Anika. Annika? All right, so I got 1 Dora Milaje ally. The support that lets you trigger their special and heal them can put cards back into my deck to get, Vibranium will be useful, so not bad. All right, so villain phase. We're going to get 1 on there. He is going to scheme for a base of 2 plus 1, so 3 more on there. And now we get an encounter card, which is Evil Alliance. Okay, well, I put 3 pursuit counters. I'm pursued by the past. So that went up quite a bit. And now it is my turn. Do I want to go get a Black Panther upgrade or not? Because decisions. All right, how are we going to do this? So all right, first things first, let's have the psionic Inhuman remove 1 threat from here, which removes a lock counter from a holding cell, which now we flip it and we get Sarah Garza into play, and then the next holding cell gets 2 counters on it. So Sarah Garza is a 2/5 ally, does not count against the ally limit like all the rest of them. And she gets overkill and ranged for her attacks. So I will have her go pop M.O.D.O.K for 2 and not have to worry about the retaliate damage. All right. Now I got to come to the part that matter to me. You know what? Yeah, we're going to do it. So we're going to pitch the Dora Milaje to get my AI out. And then I'm going to use it to shuffle my Vibranium suit back into my deck. I'm not going to shuffle it in because what I'm going to actually do is use Shuri to go fetch it. So I got my Vibranium suit out. Now let's flip ourselves up. And what we're going to do is we're going to use Vibranium and the force field generator to get an Anika out. Anika. I apologize for butchering names. But so we've got a Dora Milaje out. I'm not going to do anything with her this turn, I don't think. You know what? I will. I'll have her thwart for 1. All right, I'm going to hold Desperate Defense in my hand and then ready up. I need to remember I am a +1 defense. All right, drawing 4 more. Desperate Defense, the Elephant's Trunk, another Desperate Defense, Unflappable, and a Repurpose. Very nice. All right, so we are getting 1 on the main. He is coming to attack. I am going to defend, and I'm going to use Ingenuity to pay for a Desperate Defense. So I have a defense of 5. He's attacking for a base 1, 2, 3 star, and gains an extra boost icon for each aim minion in the victory display, which are none. So he's hitting for 3. So I take none. So Desperate Defense readies me. And then I completed a basic action by defense. So I get to resolve the special, and I'm going to resolve the Vibranium suit. So I'm going to move a damage from me onto M.O.D.O.K. Oh, it is an attack. So, no, I will not do that. I will do the spider bites. I'll just deal 1 to him because that's dealing damage, not actually attacking. Right, and now we get an encounter card, which is Reverse Engineering. Attached to M.O.D.O.K, he gets +X+X, where X is the printed card cost of the card tucked here. When revealed, tuck an upgrade you control under here. Otherwise, tuck the top card of your deck. Well, You know what? We're gonna tuck my AI. So yep. So he gets a +1/+1. All right, and to get rid of this, I have to reset his hit points. So basically, I need to kill him to do that. So, all right, we are going to have Sarah Garza attack for 2. Again, range, so no retaliate damage. We're going to have our psionic inhuman who doesn't even get the benefit of a name. He's going to thwart 1 off the main, which takes 1 lock off. As nice as it would be to get Unflappable down, I'm going to spend Desperate Defense and Unflappable to get the elephant's trunk out. Because that is really, really nice. All right, we are going to thwart for 2 off the main. And then I get to do a special. I am going to do my Spider Bites to just do a damage. Taking him down to 2. And then I'm going to use Repurpose to get rid of this stun gun to Ready Shuri, and she gets a +2 to attacking and thwarting, which I'm just going to attack. I will attack, which does a damage. I suppose I should have held off on this Inhuman until afterwards, but oh well. All right, so forced to interrupt when M.O.D.O.K would be defeated. If holding cell is in play, remove 2 lock counters from it and reset M.O.D.O.K to his main hit points. So back up to 10. If I had done that properly, I would have had 1 fewer lock counters to have to deal with, but that's okay. All right, so what do we get here? We get the flying Inhuman, which doesn't count to the ally limit, etc., etc. When they thwart, remove 1 threat from another scheme. Okay, and because I reset his hit points, this goes away. And I attack, so I did I've completed my attack, so I get to trigger a special ability. I will do the damage one that is not an attack. And then I'm going to flip myself down. Yeah, let's try it. We're going to use the elephant's trunk and also exhaust Anika to get 2 cards. Perfect. I'm going to use Stun Gun to play Queen Ramonda. Let me try to clean this up a little bit. And now I will exhaust Queen Ramonda to recover up to my recovery, which is 4. So that's going to put me back up to full. That was a perfect use of the elephant trunk. All right, we are gonna ready everything up. I'm no longer +2. Draw back up to my hand size, which gives me a strength. A ready for a fight. Oops, I did forget to put the lock counters on holding cell. And energy. Kimoyo beads. A clawed strike. And a repurpose. All right, so villain phase. We get 1 on the main. He goes to scheme for 2, 3. Now we get our encounter card, which is an Adaptoid. All right, my turn. I am going to use the elephant trunk and exhaust Queen and Queen Ramonda. I will not exhaust Annika, so I will only draw 2 cards. That gives me a Desperate Defense and a Clawed Strike. All right, we're going to flip ourselves up. We are going to use an energy. Running out of room already for a Clawed Strike. So deal 4 damage to... Oh, he is tough. Never mind. Hang on a second. Before I do that, we'll have... You know what? We're going to have our Flying Inhuman pull off the tough. Now we're going to do a Clawed Strike. So deal 4 damage to an enemy. That will be a Adaptoid. And then I get to resolve the special ability on one of my Black Panther upgrades. So that's going to be my Spider Bites. So choose a player. That's me. Deal 1 damage to the villain. There you go. And each minion engaged with that player, I can discard it to stun those, but I will not. So I defeat the Adaptoid. And when defeated, remove 1 all-purpose counter. Okay. We are now going to thwart 1 with this Psionic Inhuman, which pulls a lock counter off, which gives us our last Inhuman, the Strong. Okay. We will spend a strength to do a Clawed Strike on M.O.D.O.K. So I deal 4 damage. So that takes him down to 4. And I take 1 from Retaliate. And then I get to trigger a special. It will be Spider Bite again. So 1 damage there. And what we are going to do is we will just have the Strong Inhuman. Actually, let's have, just because I want to, we're going to have Sarah Garza go thwart for 2, take it down to 1. We are going to... we'll have the Strong Inhuman thwart for 1, which pulls the tough off. We will go put another part of our suit out, the Kimoyo beads. We're going to punch for 1, taking M.O.D.O.K down to 2. And then we'll ask Annika to punch for 2. So when M.O.D.O.K would be defeated if a holding cell is in play, it is not. So the players win the game. So I don't even take Retaliate. And there you go. That was super quick work of M.O.D.O.K and rescuing all the captives. Only needed to repurpose 1 time. Okay, so let's see here. Victory. Mark each Adaptoid environment in play in the campaign log. It was just a strong upgrade. Record the number of secret counters on each board members. That is 0. And then if at least 1 has no secrets on it, we can go pull out one of these guys. So we've got travel and medical records. Let's see, what do we get for our next one? Is going to be security scanner. All right, so unfortunately, that's 2 of the same one. So security scanner and medical records. So that means, and then we've got travel. So chief medical officer only has 2 possibilities. Chief surveillance officer has 2 possibilities. No, 3 possibilities. I apologize. Chief Surveillance Officer has 3. Chief Tactical Officer has 1 possibility. So we're getting close, but we're not quite there yet. but the chief surveillance officer is our most likely candidate. So they've got, so again, the medical officer has 2, the surveillance officer has 3, the tactical officer has 1. So if we had to make a guess right now, we would have the best odds with the surveillance officer. But we don't need to. We have another scenario to go, and that is going to be Silk. Silk versus the Thunderbolts. And I haven't really played Silk very much, so this should be interesting. And since I haven't done it yet, I think I'm going to do a Silk Justice build. So hopefully I'll get a chance to play that soon and post that up soon. But hopefully you enjoyed this one. I wasn't sure about Shuri to start with the upgrades seemed less powerful to start with. But once I got the hang of the special and discarding to get those kickers, she actually is really good. And she's got some really fabulous cards like Queen Ramonda and the Elephant Trunk are just bonkers good. So, all right. Well, if you made it this far, as always, thank you for watching it. I do appreciate it. If you have any questions or want to see anything, go ahead and leave me a comment below. Otherwise, I hope you have a great night, and I will be back again for more Marvel Champions soon. Later.